Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to put on our detective hats and solve a really common automotive mystery, that dreaded check engine light, and the cryptic code that often comes with it, P0303. So, you get in your car and there it is, that little orange light just staring back at you from your dashboard. And maybe the car just feels a little bit off. If that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place. That light isn't just an annoyance, it's a message, a clue from your car. And today, we're decoding one of the most common clues out there, P0303. This specific code is great because it tells us exactly where to start our investigation. The problem is with cylinder number 3. Okay, so let's dig into that first clue. The code says cylinder 3 misfire. But what is your car actually trying to tell you? And what does that mean for how it feels from the driver's seat? Right, so think of your engine like a team of rowers, all pulling in perfect time. A P0303 code means the engine's main computer, the ECM, has noticed that rower number 3 isn't pulling their oar. The fuel and air mixture in that cylinder just isn't igniting the way it should, and that throws off the whole engine's rhythm, which robs you of power. And yeah, you are probably feeling this. Maybe your car is shaking and rough when you're stopped at a light, or it hesitates or even jerks when you step on the gas. You might even smell raw fuel coming from the exhaust. Now here's the big one. Pay very close attention to that check engine light. If it is flashing, that's a serious red alert. It means unburned fuel is getting into your exhaust and could be destroying your very expensive catalytic converter. So, where do we even begin our investigation? Well, like any good mystery, a P0303 code has its usual suspects, and we're about to line them up. And take a look at this. This chart is basically our smoking gun. A whopping 60% of the time, the problem is right here, in the ignition system. That means our prime suspects are things like a worn-out spark plug or a faulty ignition coil. This gives us a fantastic starting point for our investigation. But this is where the detective work gets really fascinating. Why cylinder 3 specifically? Why not cylinder 1 or 4? Well, it turns out that depending on your engine's design, cylinder 3's location can make it uniquely vulnerable to certain kinds of problems. First up, it can be the hotspot. In a lot of engines, especially the inline ones, cylinder 3 is sandwiched right in the middle of the engine block. This means it often gets the worst cooling, so it runs hotter than its neighbors. All that extra heat can wear out its spark plug and ignition coil much faster. Another vulnerability is all about fuel. In a lot of engine designs, the fuel rail feeds the cylinders in order. And guess which one is often at the end of the line? Yep, cylinder 3. So if your fuel pump starts getting weak or the filter gets clogged, the fuel pressure can drop by the time it gets there, basically starving it of gas and causing a misfire. And finally, believe it or not, it can be a simple case of bad location. Sometimes the wiring for cylinder 3's ignition coil or injector is routed just a little too close to a blistering hot exhaust pipe or a sharp metal bracket. Over time, that heat and vibration can damage the wiring, leading to an electrical short. Of course, finding cylinder 3 is step 1. For a simple inline 4 engine, it's easy. It's the third one back from the front. But on a V6 or a V8, it could be on either side of the engine. The golden rule here? Always check your vehicle's service manual to be absolutely certain you're working on the right cylinder. Don't guess. Okay, now that we know our suspects, it's time to actually start the investigation. Let's look at how you can find the culprit yourself without spending a fortune at the mechanic. This right here, the swap test, is your secret weapon. It is the single most powerful diagnostic test you can do at home, and it is completely free. All you do is swap the ignition coil from cylinder 3 with one from, say, cylinder 1. You're basically interrogating the part. Then you clear the codes, drive the car, and check again. If the misfire code moves and now you have a P0301, boom, you've found your culprit. Case closed. Now the swap test and a good visual inspection will solve most of these cases. But sometimes the clues are hidden a little deeper. If you do the swap and the misfire stays on cylinder 3, the problem could be a clogged fuel injector or even a more serious mechanical issue, like low compression. That's when a professional with tools like a compression tester is needed to really uncover the truth. So after the investigation, we reach the verdict. And this verdict comes with a very serious warning. Ignoring a P0303 code is a huge mistake. This is the critical takeaway. Every single time that cylinder misfires, it's dumping raw, unburned gasoline into your exhaust system. That fuel then ignites inside your catalytic converter, superheating it and literally melting the precious metals inside, rendering it completely useless. And this is what that looks like in your wallet. Ignoring a $50 ignition coil or a $10 spark plug can quickly snowball into a repair bill that can easily top $1,500. The financial stakes of just letting it go are incredibly high. You should really think of this code as an early warning system. Because of all those vulnerabilities we talked about, the heat, its spot on the fuel line, cylinder 3 is often the first to fail when there's a larger, system-wide problem brewing, like a failing fuel pump or a timing chain that's stretched out. It really is the canary in the coal mine for your engine's health. And that leaves us with one final crucial thought. Let's say you replaced the bad part and fixed the immediate problem. It's vital to ask, why did it fail? Was it just old age, or is it a symptom of a deeper issue? Don't just treat the code. Try to understand its story. That's how you make sure your car stays healthy and reliable for the road ahead.